But before I bring on my first guest of the evening, let's just have a little blast of his latest production.
Here we go! This is Sabras Radio. Sabras Radio.
सारी दुनिया मेरे लिए मैद है, ढूंढे जन्नत ये मुझ में, कोई कर पाया ना फश में मुझे, मांगे मन्नत ये कब से, मुझे मिल पाना भी तकदीर है, यूं ही आती नहीं मैं दिल में, ओ कैसे दिल में दे दूं ये उनको अपना जो मेरे पीछे पड़े, छोड़े पीछा भर के भी ना ये देसी मुंडे तो सेंटिमेंटल पड़े.
Absolutely love that. So listen, my guest tonight is someone who needs absolutely no introduction. He's been in the game now for 4 decades, seriously, and he's been absolutely smashing it with all his compositions. All right, give it up for the one, the only, the amazing music composer and producer, Mukhtar Sahota. Yes, Mukhtar.
Hello, Akshay. How are you?
All right, all good. Listen, bro, 4 decades. I know that, I'm not trying to make you sound older or anything, but 4 decades in the game, my brother.
Yeah. Well, I thank my lucky stars. I'm still here, still doing my thing.
Absolutely, man. And you're still, still smashing it as you did, from back in the day. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But how are you?
Okay.
It's been a while. How is Wolverhampton?
It's great. It's same as usual. But yeah, I've been keeping okay, and it's just cracking on with the new projects and stuff.
Absolutely.
How about yourself? It has been a long time since we've talked last.
Absolutely, Mukhtar. But always supporting. I'm always there. We've got social media now, so where we can see what everyone's doing. And I see the moves that you're making, Mukhtar, and it's absolutely amazing. I always get happy and I always smile when I get an email with one of your projects, because you never fail to disappoint, and it's always something different, and it's always something out of the box, and just as this new project is.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate, obviously, your support as well. You've always been supporting, my projects in the past, and I'm happy to hear that you like the new project.
Absolutely. Well, do you know what? Let's get into it, right? Because a lot of people know, who do follow you and are fans of you, and and we've had you on the show time and time again, and you've done of late, you've done a lot of film scoring, right? In compositions and soundtracking for movies. How has that experience been? As opposed to kind of doing the regular singles for artists. How has that experience been different to what you've been used to?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot different from working on sort of independent artists and releasing singles and stuff. Obviously, with the movies, it's been a great experience for me, and I really enjoy doing it. That's first and foremost. But working on movies is a different ball game altogether, because you're dealing with scripts, you're dealing with a certain way that you have to produce the music, because it has to fit with the storyline, and you kind of got a picture, because most of the time the movie hasn't been shot, so they're in preparation of getting everything together. So you don't really have anything to visualize. So it's basically sitting with the producer, with the director, and going through the sketch of the song, and then they kind of give you a bit of a background on what they want and what kind of style of song they're looking for. Sometimes they'll give you references like of the songs and say so what kind of genre you're kind of working on. So that's basically the difference from working with, so let's say, Bhangra music or other stuff that I do.
Absolutely. And you know what? This project is something absolutely new for you. And I'm sure this project took you out of your comfort zone a little bit, because this is a Bollywood horror movie. It's called VASH. Okay. VASH means taking control, taking you under the influence, and this soundtrack most definitely has taken me under the influence, and a lot of people out there, because you've absolutely smashed it. But it is a horror movie, so I guess the sound the soundtrack you had to make for this, had to be a little bit different, a little bit hotgear, man. So I guess you had to dig into your little kind of your box of samples and music, right, and pull out, I guess, sounds that you probably thought you're never ever going to use in your life.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you kind of nailed that. Yeah, that is very much the case, because I mean, there's so many sounds and stuff that we don't really, as music producers, you don't really get to use, because most music producers will probably sit there and go through a whole host of sounds, and you think, oh, that's great, but you think, well, that doesn't kind of fit with the kind of project I'm working on. But it's always there at the back of your head, thinking, well, I wish I get the opportunity to actually use them kind of sounds and stuff, and especially being the horror genre, I got to play around with a lot of different sounds and to try and make it dark and sort of adding that bit of eerie, scary kind of vibe to some of the songs.
Yeah.
It was great fun sort of going through it, and we were going back and forth like with the directors and the producers, and they were loving it, and they were saying, we could actually do with a little bit more of it, because I was kind of didn't want to push the envelope.
Mukhtar, make it more scary. We want it even more spooky. Come on, man.
Yeah. So I mean, originally we'd only planned to do. It wasn't a movie where it was sort of song based. So we only had done 3 songs, but they came back for a 4th song.
Mm-hmm.
And which is always a good thing when they know that they're enjoying what they're listening to. So
absolutely. So we got Jaan Nashi, we got Monday Sentimental, which we just had a little blast of, Wo Tum Hi Ho, and of course the title track VASH, which I've been spinning up on this show, and that's been getting a lot of love. But you're based up in Wolverhampton. They're based out in India, in Bombay. Is it it must be a bit of a challenge, with the whole back and forth, and probably doing things virtually and so forth, and also working, and you're not just working with one artist. You're working with different singers. Muhammad Irfan, Pony Pandey, Shamli Kolkare, Yasser Desai, just to name a few. So not only are you've got the challenge of the producers going, can you change that, but then you're also kind of trying to work and coordinate with these different artists. That must be quite a bit of a challenge, Mukhtar.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, I mean, even just selecting the singers that who are going to front the songs.
Yeah,
that's kind of a bit of a task in itself, because you have a whole list of artists that you have in mind, and then you kind of have to narrow it down to who you basically going to select to sing the song, and then whether they're available as well, because sometimes you kind of have a singer in your mind and then they're not available, and then you have to look elsewhere. And like you said, a lot of it's sort of through video calls, and while the artist is in the studio, so you can hear what's going on and stuff. So so you're kind of in the loop of everything, basically, of the whole song aspect of it. And because I write the compositions and the melodies for the singers and stuff as well. So got to make sure that it's coming across right, and they're delivering the song the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is a lot of sort of phone calls and video calls and stuff back and forth. But it's worth it. I mean, the other alternative is for me to fly out there and then spend a couple of months out there, and then it stops other work that I'm doing here.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm grateful for the technology that we are able to do that.
Absolutely. Now that the soundtrack is out, everybody can go check it out. When is the movie out? When is VASH out?
The movie was out yesterday.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think because of the monsoon season in Bombay, they delayed it. It was out on the 21st, but then they delayed it because there were heavy rains. So it was re-released yesterday.
Absolutely. Are you a fan of the horror genre, Mukhtar? Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind watching horror movies. I mean, I haven't watched one for such a long time, but I do like a good horror movie. I haven't seen this movie. I haven't seen the VASH movie as yet.
Yeah.
But I've got to get some time out and sit down and watch the whole movie.
Absolutely, man. I can't. I used to be able to watch horror movies back in the day. I can't now. I've become right. I tell you what, I can't do horror anymore. It scares me. It really, seriously. I'm one of those people now. If I watch it and then I go to bed and I'll hear a noise and it'll freak me out.
It plays on your mind.
It will do. But I'm going to ask you, what is, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What's your kind of what one of your favorite horror movies? What's your kind of one of your all-time favorites?
My all-time favorite horror movie. I mean, I quite like. I mean, I did like the Thor.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, the series I did. I think it got a bit crazy at the end.
Yeah, it did do.
But I did like that. And one of my other favorite ones was Candyman.
Oh yeah. You don't want to be saying that 3 times about looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know what? I mean, when I was young, I was a big fan of the whole Freddy Krueger thing. I do remember, and I will say this, right? When I watched the first one, it did give me nightmares. I will admit that. But Mukhtar, listen. You're doing all this film stuff right now. I mean, can we see, aside from the film stuff, more kind of independent music coming from you in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm always working on sort of independent artists and stuff. So there's about 4 or 5 different singles that I'm working on, and some have been completed. So we're just waiting for the video shoots and then for release, basically. So so there's quite a bit of work going on that side as well.
Well, we can't wait. And with all this work in Bollywood, when are they casting you in a movie?
No, thank you. I think I'm happy. I'm happy working in the studio. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I'd rather be behind it.
Listen, Mukhtar, always a pleasure speaking to you, and always happy and excited whenever you drop a project. Always love and support for you. We're gonna have to get you here in the studio at some point. We're gonna. It's been a while. It most definitely has been a while. Yeah. But Mukhtar, thank you so much once again for joining us, and just remind everybody, if people want to kind of just keep up to date with everything you're doing and just catch up with you on socials, what are your handles? Yeah,
I mean, all the handles, it's at Mukhtar Sahota, so you can't go wrong.
There we go. We're going to play you out with the title track from VASH, and it's only right, Mukhtar, that you introduce it before I play it.
And this is the title track, VASH, from the movie VASH.
Check it out.
This is Sabras Radio.
उलझनों के यहाँ बेमिसाल होशियाँ और फिजाओं में है सर्द खामोशियाँ एक पल में ही टूटी मदहोशियाँ देखना है मगर बेपनाह इश्क पर क्या चलेगा उसका वश है ज़हन में कश्मकश क्या चलेगा उसका वश सलाखों से लम्हा लम्हा वो बहकता जाएगा एक शैतानी ज़लज़ला बुलाएगा देखना है मगर बेपनाह इश्क पर क्या चलेगा उसका बस है ज़हन में कश्मकश क्या चलेगा उसका बस.
It's a title track from the brand new Bollywood horror movie that came out yesterday called VASH. Mukhtar Sahota, our very own Mukhtar Sahota, has done the composition for the soundtrack. So do go check it out and do check out the movie and let me know what you thought of it.